Get that ass bent. Can't do it. I can't take this shit anymore, man.
Take it! Shit,
$2 super chat. He says, you seem kind of tense today. Are you in a bad mood? Well, Soul at 2 a.m., apparently you're pretty perceptive. I'm not in a bad mood, but allow me to explain something that happened last night, because it will likely affect today's streams. Thank you for the first contribution of the day. So you ready for a little story time with Phil here on the morning show, I hope? Okay, so here's the story. Every night, as we're all going to sleep, I grab our cat Jasper and bring him into the bedroom with us. The reason I do that is because if I don't, okay, he literally will wake up in the middle of the night and run all over the house. So we have to keep him in the bedroom with us at night, and we close the door, and he sleeps with us in there. He's got a litter box. He's got food. He's got, a fountain. He's fine, okay? But then in the morning, we open the door, we let him out, and he goes about his business in the rest of the house, okay? So last night, usual routine, okay? Usually, when I'm trying to pick up Jasper and we're downstairs together, he gets the zoomies at the end of the night. He does this every night. It's his tradition. He gets excited, starts running around the house, starts rolling all over the carpets and everything. And then I have to try to scoop him up. And, when you grab a cat, you have to know how to handle a cat properly. A lot of people don't know, and they grab a cat incorrectly. You're actually supposed to have one arm underneath so that the cat's kind of draping over your arm and your other arm under their bottom. So basically, they're supported almost like a baby. So that way their back isn't strained and they don't feel like they're being dragged. It doesn't hurt them or anything like that, okay? So I pick up Jasper as usual, and he is full of energy, okay? He's got the zoomies, so I got to try to calm him down. Sometimes he tries to bite when you do that. So I pick him up, and we're going upstairs together. And as I'm heading into our bedroom, okay, we have had hot weather. We have all of our air conditioning installed, and we have a series of fans all over the house. There's actually a fan, tower oscillating fan right outside of my door here of the office. There's another oscillating fan right outside of our bedroom. There's another oscillating fan in the middle of our staircase heading downstairs, and there's another fan at the bottom of the staircase. So the way that we've angled them all is to catch the air of the air conditioning and blow it through the house like a wind tunnel, and that's how we distribute the cold air during the hot summer months. We don't have central air, so we have this elaborate system that we use, okay? So, complete freak situation, all right? Basically what had happened was, if you remember, the power had gone out yesterday. During this very show, it went out twice for literally no good reason. And by the way, the power company never explained why. They don't. The power company out here constantly has these issues and does not have any accountability. They don't explain anything, and no one holds them to task for it. So anyway, what had happened was the fan had gone off during the course of the day. But my wife and I kind of didn't notice. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything else kind of went back on, but this particular fan stayed off. Therefore, because the fan was off, the fan wasn't in the correct position to blow the air through the house. We had never positioned it. We had never set it up right, okay? So normally this fan would be sitting right outside of the bedroom in the hallway. That way it would catch the air from the air conditioning in the bedroom and blow it downstairs. It wasn't. The fan just happened to be slightly inside of the bedroom, kind of blocking the doorway, okay? I didn't know this. So I'm walking upstairs with Jasper in my arms, as I always do, and he's tending to get excited, as he always does. He always has, like, the zoomies at night, like I said. So as I'm walking into the bedroom, okay, because the fan is out of position, Jasper kicks with his foot. It hits the fan. It freaks him out because he wasn't expecting anything to be there. He's thinking, I'm just going to kick and be silly. He kicks. As he hits the fan, he completely freaks out, and he takes both of his feet, and he claws as hard as he possibly can into me. Okay? This literally gored my chest. Okay? So right now, I have 7 deep cuts in my chest and going down into the top of my stomach from Jasper last night. Okay? It was so bad that I had to go immediately into the bathroom. My wife was in there and she's like, I'm not done yet. I said, I can't wait. And I had to grab a washcloth and I basically had to stop the bleeding. I got rubbing alcohol, luckily, and I was easily able to disinfect immediately and it allowed it to stop bleeding. And I was like, oh my God. And it was just bad. It hurt like crazy. All right. The good news is they're not super deep where it's like, oh, I need to go get stitches or anything like that. But these aren't light scratches. These are pretty ouch scratches, and it was bleeding a bit. But the good news is I disinfected it immediately. We have rubbing alcohol. If I hadn't, could have been in problem. You know, I could have got sick from it because that's the problem with cat scratches. If you don't disinfect immediately, you could get sick. But I did disinfect them immediately. And it's basically, I'm in pain. All right. The worst is I took a shower. It's like, oh my God, 7 throbbing wounds on me. And what sucks is I was supposed to work out. Can't work out now. Because if I did, like I was going to work out last night, right before I went to bed, actually, I was going to work out a bit. How can I do that? I'm going to bleed all over the place. You know, so I couldn't do that. So I lost a workout. I'm hoping that I'll be good enough tonight that I'll be able to get to work out again. Sucks. I don't want to miss workouts, but I did already. It sucks. So basically, it's just bad luck. It's not, no one's to blame here for what happened. Jasper always has the zoomies at night. I expect his behavior to be kind of silly. Obviously, the fan being there was a complete freak. It normally wouldn't have been there. It would have been in the hallway, but it wasn't in the hallway because the power had gone out in a freak thing. So the only real people to blame here are the power company. The power company, if they could just keep the goddamn power on, none of this would have happened. It's the power company. Do you see why I was so upset and why I was crashing out yesterday? Because of the power company, I now have 7 huge gaping wounds on my chest. You understand now? Do you see why I was so freaking out and upset? All right. Obviously, it was a freak thing. Like I said, sometimes shit just happens. It was, I'm not mad at Jasper. I'm not mad. What would we be mad at the fan for? You know what I mean? Like, it was just a freak thing. And the thing is, I'm in pain right now. Like, right now, I've got burning. I've got pain on my chest because of these cuts. I did shower and wash and everything, so they're not as bad. It was much worse last night. It's better now, but still, I'm in pain. And that's why you might have noticed, oh, he looks a little weird. Yeah, I'm not casual. I'm not relaxed right now. I can't really be relaxed when I'm in pain. Okay? So that's what's going on. Anyway, it's life. It happens when you have a cat. Remember one day, this was years ago, when I had my old chair, Jasper was right here on the arm of the chair, and he'd been there, what, a zillion times, right? And this one particular day, he slipped, and he kicked me with his claws back, same back claw, and he cut me all the way up my arm. And that cut was very bright and deep. You could see it on camera. And that has resulted in a really big scar going across my arm that never went away. Well, guess what? I'm about to have 7 big scars on my chest for the rest of my life. I'm going to look like I got into a knife fight with someone because Jasper did a double drop kick on me last night. So, anyway, yeah, it sucks. What can I do? It's life. And that's why I'm feeling a little uncomfortable today, okay? Spoderman, thanks for $2. This morning, what kind of work experience have you had? What do you mean? Like, what kind of jobs have I held? Before I was even legally eligible to work in the state of Connecticut, I was illegally working for a fast food company called Everything Yogurt and Salad Cafe. I worked under the table for this company for like 2 years. And then I was legally able to work because I was old enough. I worked for them for like 3-4 years, all through high school and early college too. I worked for Circuit City for about 1.5 to 2 years. First, I was in computers, then I was in cameras, and then I kind of jumped between the all the electronics and media. I had an internship at a life insurance company for a summer, trying to sell life insurance. Let's see here. I'm trying to think what was in between there. I worked Wells Fargo Financial, which pretended to be a bank, but they actually weren't. I actually found out after working with them that they were a predatory lender, meaning they basically were looking for people with bad credit scores, and they would try to give them really unfair loans, but tempt them into doing it. Like, imagine you're desperate for money, and you have debt up to your eyeballs, and a bank says, we're going to give you a mortgage even though no one else will, but by the way, it's 95% loan to value on your house, leaving zero equity in your home. That's the kind of thing that they would do. It was pretty messed up, actually. I didn't understand it until I did it for the year, and I was like, damn, I'm working for a predatory company. This really sucks. After that, I worked for Best Buy on their Best Buy for Business team for about a year. That whole thing was a big debacle that ended in a lot of misery and pain for them, not me. And then I worked for a helicopter company, an aftermarket company called Helicopter Support, that basically would deal with maintenance and getting helicopter parts out to people who operated helicopters in the field. And I did that for almost 5 years. First I was customer support, then I was continuous improvement. Did a lot of jobs in there, but they only paid me for one, which is hilarious. Then finally after that, I became a YouTuber. So that's my entire work history since when I was, early 15? Yeah, when I was like a young 15-year-old all the way through today. That's my job history. So there you go. Okay. Very